I'm David Iannucci, President and CEO of the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation. Over the past 40 years, we've seen Prince George's County transform dramatically, away from a bedroom community to a county that led the state of Maryland for job growth for 6 consecutive years. A county that brought exciting new employment opportunities, growing in all sorts of sectors, everything from quantum computing to aerospace to IT to healthcare. Exciting new opportunities have been created for employment, but also creating a better quality of life for all Prince George's County residents. One of the most exciting things about Prince George's County, one of the transformations that we've seen over the last 40 years, is the creation of a skilled, educated, fairly well-paid, diverse workforce. The diversity of our workforce is one of the strengths of this county. It's one of the leadership opportunities we bring to the entire Washington metropolitan region. We want the Washington metropolitan area to understand the exciting economic opportunities that exist in Prince George's County, both for the public sector and for the private sector. This is the place to be, Prince George's County.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our county executive and thank her for the job that she's done raising our quality of life and protecting us, Angela Alsobrooks.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Prince George's County, and welcome to the 2023 State of the Economy Breakfast. I'm honored to be here at the University of Maryland, where just across the street, Discovery Point will soon be underway, adding over 300,000 square feet of new state-of-the-art office space to our growing community. That's what progress looks like. Just one short year ago, I joined you to talk about the progress that we've made on our vision for inclusive economic development. I highlighted our investments in the future health and well-being of all Prince Georgians. This year, I'm proud to be here talking about the historic progress that we've already made. We're not just talking about it, we're getting it done. Our administration has focused on eliminating obstacles to prosperity and making investments that strengthen our social infrastructure at the local level with new programs, new policies, and new physical spaces that bring Prince Georgians together. New Carrollton is just one of many examples. In fact, our broader economic development strategy supports residents' health and economic resilience while helping to reduce crime. That's according to Vivek H. Murthy, the Surgeon General of the United States. In his 2023 advisory titled Our Epidemic of Loneliness and Isolation, The Healing Effects of Social Connection and Community, based on decades of research, this report confirms what local leaders have always known. Communities with higher levels of social connection enjoy significantly better health outcomes and greater prosperity, including development and employment. This groundbreaking report highlights that an increase in social connectedness was associated with a 21% reduction in murders and a 20% reduction in motor vehicle thefts. The report recommends local stakeholders make social connection a priority and invest in social infrastructure that brings people together, including physical infrastructure like parks, community gathering spaces, and transit-oriented development. Does this sound familiar? Well, those are the exact kinds of projects that are the hallmark of our economic development strategy. And speaking of economic development strategy, there is one other person who is a super bad and incredible individual. She is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Economic Development for our county. She is masterful. Please help me also thank Angie Rogers. Angie, please stand up and be acknowledged. Just 2 years ago, in June of 2021, we launched our new economic development vision to grow greatness in Prince George's County. We set a course forward, prioritizing accessible, walkable, and amenity-rich transit-oriented development. We put a major focus on education and healthcare. In the years that have followed, we've opened new schools, new medical facilities, and new hospitals. In just a few short years, we've already made unprecedented progress. We're not here just talking about what we want to do, we're getting it done. Our vision has been so compelling that we've already secured hundreds of millions of dollars in public funds. These efforts are helping to unlock billions more in private investment across our county. I often say that Prince George's County is the crown jewel of Maryland, and the crown jewel of our economic development platform is the Blue Line Corridor. After a 2020 public land study showed how much land was available to plan and manage our growth, the Blue Line became an obvious place where we could make progress. Progress that our communities along the Blue Line have missed for far too long. Now, all along this important corridor, we're watching great ideas turn into the future of our community. Since last year, we've secured a memorandum of understanding with the Maryland Stadium Authority, unlocking $400 million in new investment. Our new amphitheater, youth sports complex, library, pedestrian-friendly infrastructure improvements, and cultural center are moving forward. As of this past February, $750 million in private investment from minority-led projects along this corridor have taken shape, creating generational wealth and opportunity for Prince Georgians. Amid concerns about the unknowns, like inflation and interest rates, it can be hard to know which projects are going to succeed. We've all heard of projects that are based on strong ideas, but end up wrapped up in red tape. But there is so much to be optimistic about when we consider the future of Prince George's County. Projects along our Blue Line Corridor are more than ideas. They are the centerpiece of our economic development platform. Combined with our investments from the state, we have well over $1 billion in investments along our Blue Line Corridor already. And you can rest assured that we're fully supporting new investments in the Blue Line and taking a long-term approach to smart and sustainable growth. Any new project or idea that you have, we will surely back it up with action. We've also made tremendous progress on health care. We opened the Luminous Behavioral Health Center, a first of its kind in the county, and we're preparing to open a new crisis stabilization facility, the Dyer Care Center, offering greater access to mental health care. During this year's legislative session, we secured the additional funding we needed to finish and open a state-of-the-art cancer center in Largo, which will improve cancer outcomes over the long term for our community. Every day, the coalition of individuals, organizations, companies, and even government agencies invested in our future continues to grow. We're not just talking about it, we're getting it done, with investments that stand up to scrutiny and just make sense. One investment that just makes sense is affordable housing. Affordable housing is a part of our economic development strategy because our residents should be able to stay here, age in place, and take advantage of new amenities. Most of all, every resident deserves a nice, safe place to live that they can afford. The Bedford and Victoria Station apartments have been in the news many times in the past for power outages, unsanitary conditions, and years of neglect. The conditions at this apartment complex, a place that's supposed to be home, were unacceptable. It had been that way for so long that renters there went on strike, complaining of leaking sinks, unanswered maintenance requests, and a lack of input from an absentee landlord. When my administration came into office, we were tired of just talking about quality, affordable housing. We put tools in place, like the right of first refusal, and a dedicated funding stream for the Housing Investment Trust Fund so that we could take action on behalf of residents. The right of first refusal program gives our county the option to buy or assign the right to purchase a multifamily property of over 20 units. We created a roadmap to this program, including criteria for when it could be used. Then, in 2021, we began preserving affordability and improving units. Through the right of first refusal and other housing programs, we've preserved or created over 2,500 units of affordable housing since 2021. One resident of Bedford and Victoria Station told us, quote, "With the COVID pandemic, it's been a little hard financially, but with these programs that the county has in place in order to keep the rent stable, it allows us to continue to be able to pay our rent." Our efforts, and this is important, our efforts on affordable housing make a huge difference in people's lives. We're not just talking about preserving affordable housing, we're getting it done. And when we develop a reputation for getting things done, it's easier for us to find partners. Our Cheverly Hospital site is a perfect example. When our former hospital closed, we immediately recognized the opportunity this space presented for our county. Under my administration, we selected a developer who was willing to work with us. And then we secured $14 million just in this last legislative session from the state to demolish the old hospital and begin redevelopment of this site. Moving this project forward happened quickly, and it's because we've demonstrated that given the opportunity, we get the work done. Redevelopment at Cheverly unlocks $1 billion in private investment. We're using this opportunity to support small and minority-owned businesses. Through minority equity sponsorship, we are securing dividends for minority-owned businesses through the life of new projects. And through minority contracting procurement opportunities, we're supporting minority-owned businesses with county dollars. But we want to accomplish even more. And at Cheverly, we're looking at new ways to allow them to invest as owners in the projects that they work on. We're not just talking about expanding opportunities for minority-owned businesses, we're getting it done with a growing cast of partners who see our growing track record of success. And with our growing track record of success, our county has won national accolades for our work with private partners on goals that benefit this community. Through our alternative construction finance program in our school system, we broke ground on 6 new schools in 2021, with several opening in the coming months. This program was set up to allocate approximately $225 million to local and minority-owned businesses over the life of the program, with an estimated $130 million expected to be distributed in just the first 4 years of this project. In total, we've broken ground on 10 new schools during my administration so far. And right now, we're working towards a second public-private partnership, which will half be funded by the state, which could help build an additional 8 new schools focused on elementary. All total, this administration will be responsible for delivering 18 new schools in a 6-year period. We're not just talking about it, we're getting it done. We're working to attract new businesses to Prince George's that expand our quality retail options for residents. Just last month at ICSC, our team held 22 meetings with retailers and developers during the 2-day gathering. An additional 80 walk-up meetings took place, and our follow-up with these groups is ongoing. Employ Prince George's has worked tirelessly on behalf of Prince George's County residents and businesses since the pandemic began. I want to thank Walter Simmons, who's incredible. They helped businesses survive during the pandemic, and they continue to provide support through our economic recovery. And I'm proud to say that these efforts have led to, and you've got to wait on this, a 2% unemployment rate in Prince George's. This is the lowest ever recorded in the history of our county. The county and Employ Prince George's aren't stopping here. Employ Prince George's is still offering multi-million-dollar hiring incentives for local businesses. And we understand that a strong Prince George's County needs a robust, skilled, and qualified labor force with over 500,000 jobs. To reach this goal, Employ Prince George's launched a mobile American Job Center and is partnering with the Building Trades Union to launch the Building Trades Career Center this summer. Together, these efforts will ensure our community has the skills to build an even stronger Prince George's. And a stronger Prince George's requires serious investments in charging for electric vehicles. We completed a mapping project to understand where our residents will need charging stations over time, and to highlight equity areas that will need investment for charging. We're working on grants and programs that will help us expand the current 120 charging stations that are already available, with a special focus on additional capacity at libraries and schools. At the University of Maryland, we're moving ahead with our plans also in the Discovery District. We want to work with the university to build a true research, development, and technology center in our county. Our work at Aviation Landing helps us with another important goal. By building up our research, development, technology, and cybersecurity pipeline, we build capacity to train FBI agents of the future that can serve our nation and the mission of the agency. The decision about where to locate the new FBI headquarters, understand this, is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for our county. And the federal government also has an opportunity to advance principles of basic fairness and equity, which have been overlooked for too long. When the federal government decided in 1941 to locate the Pentagon on the west bank of the Potomac, that decision created decades of investment in Virginia. But we are now confident. Our sites have the best access to metro, the easiest site accessibility, access to a pipeline of talented workers, and building here is less expensive than building in Virginia. Prince George's County excels in all the criteria. We're taking action, working with leaders from across the state and advocates from across the nation to make sure the GSA brings the FBI headquarters to Prince George's County. Over the course of my administration, we've made unprecedented progress. Even during times of progress, however, there are obstacles. But together, we've overcome so much. Together, we've stayed on a course towards broader opportunity and a higher quality of life. But let's make one thing abundantly clear, and I want you all to hear me when I say this. This is no time to stop, stall, or go backwards. The coalition that we've built to move our county forward must remain steadfast. Steadfast in our commitment to the people of Prince George's County and to our shared vision for a brighter future here in this place we call home. I'm calling on all of you all to keep strengthening the bonds of this community, to keep working together, and to carry this vision for Prince George's County with you. Do not just talk about the ideas that we have for the future. Let's take action now. Before I go, I have one last thing to offer you all. Why now? Well, we're not just talking about affordable housing. We're not just talking about change on the Blue Line corridor. We're not just talking about new hospitals, new infrastructure, new homes, and new schools. We've developed a reputation for following through and getting things done. We've executed on our plans. We've turned pictures, ideas, and vision into action and progress. All of these investments help make Prince George's County more robust. And if we continue to invest, if we continue to turn our ideas into action, our county's future will be even brighter. There's no limit to what we can achieve, especially when we do it together. Great ideas are only the first step toward change. Like anything else, a great idea about the future of our county means very little if we do not back it up with action. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together so far. And I want to thank all of you once again for being here. Remember, in Prince George's County, we're not just talking about it, we're getting the job done. So thank you all so very, very much for what you have done for our county. May God continue to bless all of you, and may God continue to bless our beautiful county. Thank you.